there anything else you think the interpreters would want to know or should know when doing a basic tour of the blacksmith shop?
Where do we get the steel? Some of it has been donated.
Okay.
Most of it is scrap metal
Okay.
that we find in different places. Another thing that the kids ask, they ask about the vise. And we've got a couple vices here, 3 of them. And, these are pretty heavy duty vices. We can put items in here and tighten them up, and then hammer on hot metal right in the vise, just like we would on the anvil. Got one at that corner, and with that table right here, and one at the other end. The kids often ask about that stove. They have not seen the stove before.
Oh, what kinds of questions do they ask about the stove? Just what is it?
What is that?
Okay.
You know, so I'm trying to show you, what it's all about. You know, we put the wood in there, and we can clean out the ashes from the bottom, and then we can adjust the vent with. There's supposed to be a little flap over that. And then when it's hot, we can pick this thing up with that tool there. But then the flue gases are going out this pipe and going out the same chimney as the forge. Let's see, what else do they ask? They've asked about the radio. I'm not sure why that's in here. It doesn't work very well. They have no recognition of what that is.
Okay.
Looks like a model church, you know. They have asked about this thing. I don't know, maybe you're aware of what that is.
Is it? Let me see. I do not.
It's actually a bending tool, and I don't see the handle for it. Whatever the case, there is a tool right here. But if we took straight steel and we put it underneath this one, on top of this and on top of this, it would be forced into a bowl. And as we turn this crank, it would cause that to keep rounding around until we had a complete circle.
Okay.
Almost to make a tire for a wagon wheel.
Okay.
And we've got another one over here, just like that. No, it's gone. Chris Hubbard used that at the Belvedere Pioneer Days.
This year?
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's supposed to bring that back. This thing right here is another vise, and I'd like to get it working. But what it is, it's a hand-free vise, and I think it was used more by the blacksmiths that were doing shoes, horseshoes, that they could take a shoe, put it in the vise, and clamp it with their foot, and the vise would lock up, and then they could work the shoe. Let's see.
What do we need to know about the horseshoes?
I don't know exactly what that was supposed to represent,
Okay.
but there's a variety of different shoes there. Some of them I have no idea what they're for. But one time I got a chance to listen to a blacksmith farrier, and there's a whole lot more to making a horseshoes than what I thought. But what they would do, they were almost like veterinarians. They knew what was the problem with the horse's gait, or maybe a foot that he was favoring, and they would adjust the shoe so that the shoe would kind of correct that gait or whatever, almost like shoes fitted for somebody with foot problems. Let's see. Some of them had some Yeah, like this one where it's offset. Boy, nice clean glass. We wash that every day.
I can tell.
But you see where this has a rather unique feature to it, and I'm sure that's to augment something on the horse's gait or whatever. But most of these are more modern shoes for more riding horses than for draft horses. Some of the shoes, or most of the shoes on top here, are much heavier, and a lot of them had spikes in them. And
For the ice?
yeah, for ice and rocky terrain. Some of the shoes that we had out that we can demonstrate, like these. These had holes so we could input a hardened cleat so they could run on ice. But obviously that's quite a bit bigger horse. This dude must have really been big. We had a couple shoes here for oxen. And it was smaller, but it was a split hoof. And I don't see it. But I would always ask the kids what they thought that was. Well, there were all kinds of guesses. But very few of them really guessed that it could be for a two-toed hoof, you know. But the oxen were quite important back in the early days because they had so much power. They could drag logs out of the woods, you know, way beyond the capacity of a horse. And I don't see them. I suppose if we had more light and we cleaned something up, I'd find all kinds of things here. Well, this is always fun. Show the kids this horseshoe. Jim Will made that for the fun of it. I always tried to get the kids to guess how big that horse was.
Do they guess it was the size of an elephant? Because that's
Mo-
my guess.
Yeah, most of the time, you know, wow! Most of them knew better. These up here, they've asked me about those. Those are just measuring calipers. If you were doing something that was had to be a certain size, we could open this up to the size we wanted to see if it fit in there, or if we wanted to measure something, just squeeze it down onto an item and to get it to fit just right. We'd have it. So we could measure outside. We could also measure inside.